This is a wild one. The topic is the quantum nature of remote viewing and precognition. For millennia, humans have reported experiences that transcend our conventional understanding of space and time. Ancient mariners spoke of visions guiding them to unseen lands. Indigenous cultures across continents developed practices to allegedly access information beyond physical senses. These experiences have been labeled with many names throughout history, from prophecy and clairvoyance to ESP and remote viewing. What if these phenomena aren't supernatural at all, but instead represent natural capacities of human consciousness that operate on quantum principles we're only beginning to understand? Far from being relegated to mystics and fringe enthusiasts, these phenomena have been seriously investigated by some of the most reputable scientific and government institutions in the world. The CIA and Defense Intelligence Agency spent over $20 million across 2 decades investigating remote viewing through programs codenamed Stargate, Grill Flame, Sunstreak, and Center Lane. Dr. Harold Puthoff and Russell Targ, physicists at Stanford Research Institute, conducted rigorous double-blind experiments demonstrating
out of 10 tries in which he passed twice and guessed 8 times, the 8 guesses were correct, and that gave us a probability of about 1 in a million. We would point out again there were no errors in the times he made a guess.
Statistically significant results. Their work, published in respected journals like Nature and the Proceedings of the IEEE, established protocols that controlled for all conventional explanations. Dr. Jessica Oates, a statistics professor at UC Irvine and former president of the American Statistical Association, conducted a comprehensive review of the government's remote viewing research and concluded, the statistical results of the studies examined are far beyond what is expected by chance. Arguments that these results could be due to methodological flaws in the experiments are soundly refuted. When the CIA ultimately terminated the program in 1995, their assessment noted a statistically significant effect in laboratory settings, while questioning its practical intelligence applications. This crucial distinction has often been misrepresented. The CIA did not conclude remote viewing does not exist. They concluded it wasn't consistently reliable enough for intelligence gathering from non-consenting targets. Recent advances in quantum biology and consciousness studies provide theoretical frameworks for understanding these phenomena. Dr. Stuart Hameroff and Nobel laureate Roger Penrose have proposed that quantum processes in neural microtubules may underlie human consciousness. Their orchestrated objective reduction theory suggests consciousness emerges from quantum processes in these structures. Quantum entanglement, what Einstein referred to as spooky action at a distance, demonstrates that particles once connected remain instantaneously correlated regardless of distance. Could similar principles apply to consciousness? Leading physicists like David Bohm propose that reality has an implicate order, a deeper quantum level where consciousness and matter are unified. From this perspective, remote viewing and precognition wouldn't violate physical laws. They would represent natural capacities to access information through quantum interconnectedness. One of the most compelling frameworks for understanding these phenomena relates to what physicists call a light cone, the boundary of space-time that can affect or be affected by an observer. Interestingly, remote viewing experiments suggest a pattern consistent with such quantum principles. Viewing seems most reliable for targets within one's potential future light cone, locations and events you could potentially experience. This suggests remote viewing may operate through quantum channels connecting consciousness across space-time, with strongest effects for potentially verifiable targets. Modern technology like phones may effectively extend this quantum connectivity, allowing consciousness to follow these connections across distances, explaining successful remote viewing through technological mediums. My own experiences with these phenomena confirm patterns observed in formal research. On multiple occasions, I have accurately perceived environments before physically arriving. Once, while approaching a residence, I clearly perceived someone in a plaid shirt who would answer the door 15 minutes later. That exact person in that exact clothing greeted me. In another instance, I perceived someone wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt half an hour before arriving at their location, despite this being in Arizona's summer heat. Upon arrival, I found him dressed exactly as perceived. I asked him later why he wears that in such hot weather, and he explained he was trying to lose weight. During a car trick, I spontaneously knew a spectator was thinking about a red truck, completely unrelated to our interaction. When questioned, he confirmed this with astonishment. Later, when he tested me again, I correctly identified his thought of a yellow Volkswagen Beetle. Most compelling was teaching a friend remote viewing. While he was at a house I'd never seen, I accurately described when he was on his skateboard, reclining on his couch with his back against the armrest and legs stretched out, and sitting at his computer positioned on a counter. Each detail was verified accurate despite my having no prior knowledge of his home's layout or activities. The evidence for remote viewing and precognition doesn't require belief in the supernatural. Instead, these capacities appear to be natural extensions of consciousness operating according to quantum principles. Ancient prophecies, spontaneous precognitive experiences, and modern remote viewing experiments may all represent the same fundamental human capacity: consciousness accessing information through quantum interconnectedness rather than conventional sensory channels. As we develop more sophisticated understanding of quantum biology and consciousness, these phenomena increasingly appear not as violations of physical law, but as demonstrations of natural processes operating at levels science is only beginning to comprehend. The most profound realization may be that these capacities don't separate us from nature. They reveal how deeply we're connected to it through the quantum fabric of reality itself.